Today we're going to look at section 4.7, compositions of functions. And a composition is basically when we substitute one equation into another equation. So we're going to take x out and we're going to plug in an entire equation in for that x and then simplify. So we learned in the last section that when they write f of 5, that means they want us to take x out and put 5 in its spot and then simplify as much as we can. We're going to apply that same concept, but now we're not going to have just a number that we're plugging in. We're going to have a different equation. So this is read as f of g of x, and that tells us to take x out and plug in the equation g of x in its spot. There's two ways that you might see this written. You might see it written as f of g of x this way, where g of x is on the inside. That's what we're plugging into f of x. Or you might see it written like this with an open dot, kind of looks like the word fog, but it means the same thing. We're taking g of x and we're plugging it in for x in f of x. So let's look at a few examples. So in this first one, we have c of x, which is x squared. We have d of x, which is x plus 4. They want us to find c of d of x first. So that's the same thing as asking us to find c of d of x. They want us to go to the equation c, take x out, and plug d of x in its spot. So I would go to equation c, and notice that that's just x squared. So I'm going to take that x out. I'm going to put parentheses in its spot. And then in those parentheses, I'm going to put what d of x is. We're plugging in the inside part in. So d of x is x plus 4. So that's what we're putting in the parentheses. So c of d of x would be x plus 4 squared. Since they want us to simplify this, they do want us to go ahead and write this in standard form, which means we need to take x plus 4 times x plus 4. And when we FOIL, we'd get x squared plus 4x, which would give us 8x in the middle, and then plus 16. When you're working these problems, the order does matter. So they then ask us to find d of c of x. So that is finding d of c of x. Same thing. I would go to d of x and write that equation, but anywhere I see an x, I'm going to leave a blank spot. I always put parentheses there just to remind myself that's what I'm plugging into. So there's x plus 4, and now I'm going and plugging in the inside part. So the inside part was c of x, so I'm plugging in x squared in the parentheses. In this case, I don't have anything that I need to square. I don't have anything that I need to combine. So my final answer is just x squared plus 4. If there's multiple x's in your problem, like in g of x, we have x squared plus x, we do want to plug in into both x's. So in this case, if I'm trying to find g of f of x, I'm taking f of x and I'm plugging it into g of x. So I would go to g of x and write it. Anywhere I see an x, I'm going to leave a blank spot. So x squared plus another blank spot. And in each of those blank spots, I'm putting in the inside one, f of x. So I'm plugging in 2x into both of those spots. Simplifying those, I get 4x squared, and then plus 2x. Once again, if there are multiple x's, make sure you plug into both. Last thing they could do is they could replace the x with a number or another variable. Either case, that's what you're plugging in. So if they change the variable, just make sure you change the variable as you plug in. If they change it to a number, that actually makes it a little bit easier because we don't have to do quite as much with the simplifying part. So in this last one, they're asking us to find b of c of 4. So we're plugging in C of 4. I would start on the inside and do that part. So C of 4 tells me to go to C and plug in 4. When I do that, I get 6 times 4, which is 24. Then go back and do the outside part. So B of C of 4 is B of what we just got, 6 times 4, B of 24. That tells me to go to B, plug in 24. When I do that, I have 4 times 24 plus the 4 at the end. 4 times 24 is 96 plus 4, which would give me 100. So you just get one nice final answer for this one. Hope that helps as you're working through the worksheet and the IXL. If you have questions, as always, please email me or record a Flipgrid, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.